Welcome to the Koso Konnections podcast, where the ancient art of Japanese fermentation science meets modern natural health. Embark with us on a journey of transformation, exploring age-old wellness practices through inspiring discussions, expert advice, and personal stories. Discover how these traditions can revolutionize your health and well-being today.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Koso Konnections. I'm your host, Nika Cortez, and today's story truly made us smile literally. So, we're joined by the very special guest, GM Jackson, whose journey with DDP, Dental Detox Paste, is nothing short of amazing. Jim went from years of pain, bleeding gums, sensitivity, to saying four simple but four powerful words that stuck with all of us. DDP saved me. Yes, that's the best. So, hello, Jim Jackson.
Hi, Jim. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Jim. Welcome. Yokoso in Japanese. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We're so happy to have you. Yeah, we're so happy you're here. So tell us a little bit about what life was like before DDP.
Well, before DDP, I was in a lot of pain. I was constantly going to the dentist. Teeth were being removed one by one, sometimes two by two. And finally it got to where I just had to have the whole top removed. And they're trying to save the bottom ones. So at that point, I'm going through two different dentists. Every 3 months, I've got two hygienists, two dentists, and I alternate between them. And they do different things, take the measurements and deep cleanings. And they're just trying to basically stall it. You know, it's going to happen eventually, but if I can slow it down, I get to keep them as long as I can. And that's where DDP comes in. I started with the super drink, which amazed one hygienist because I didn't have the inflammation, no bleeding. The bacteria was low. The readings they didn't get past a 5, which is amazing. So there was a lot of healing that went on through there. In fact, I was sitting there and got my mouth open, and she says, "Huh?" And I go, "Oh no, this is going to be expensive." So, right off the bat, I had already been drinking the drink for 3 months, maybe 2.5 months, and so it would just become part of my morning ritual. And so I didn't really think of it off the bat, but she's like, "Are you on any medications?" And I said, "Well, no, I haven't even, taken aspirin, anything like that." So talking with her, it hit me that I'm drinking the drink and that could be the difference. So she says, "Well, that makes sense." It's, I told her what it was and that it was fermentation. And she said, "Well, it's taking the inflammation out of your body." So she was amazed, wanted to know what it was. So I of course, helped her with that. And that leads me into my next visit. In the meantime, DDP had come out, and I immediately bought it. I thought, if the drink can do that, what can the toothpaste do? So my first reaction was, okay, it's green, which was a surprise to me. Nobody had explained to me it was green, and that there wasn't any foaming with it, which is fine. It had a great taste. It cleans very, very well. So I used that about 2 months before my next visit. The next visit went really well, and I wanted to see if they had the similar reaction as the first dentist and hygienist. So I made sure that I brushed it for the 2 months and flossed and did all the things I'm supposed to do. And I get there, and I hand her the tube. And so immediately she went to the QR code and started researching it before she even came in and talked to me. The hygienist is in there, and she was absolutely amazed with the numbers. There was absolutely no change from the 3 months prior. So all the tissues were exactly the same. The gums were real tight against the teeth. The pockets were low, not past a 5. She says it's amazing. You're got great color to the teeth, great color to the gums, tongue, throat. Everything that she could see was great. The same thing as it was 3 months prior. And of course, I haven't stopped the drink as well. So working in tandem, I think is great.
That's amazing. So your hygienist noticed right away.
Absolutely. She was
Incredible.
amazed, and I mean, she stopped me and was asking, what am I doing different? So now they're researching it, which is a good thing.
You know what's incredible about all of this? A lot of my friends are dentists, and they are working with bacteria all the time. And so sometimes they don't realize how important it is not only to have your bacteria removed from your mouth, but also inside of their bodies. So Jimmy's journey of taking Koso Drink and using the DDP is incredible. The DDP is working the way it's supposed to, Jimmy. Obviously, you're very happy with the results. I call it the smart bacteria. Smart bacteria meaning it goes after the unsmart bacteria. It gets rid of it. And as you know, there's a lot of harsh chemicals out there in the marketplace. And it always amazes me how people say, use sandpaper on your teeth. What? What do you mean use sandpaper on your teeth? Because that's about the only thing that'll clean your teeth. One thing, as people use the DDP, it's really soft. It's really gentle. It makes you feel clean, but at the same time, it doesn't strip your enamel. That's another issue altogether. I'm really happy that you're getting, I'm sure you are as well too, but I'm happy for you if that makes sense. In a very sincere way. When we created the DDP, my hope was that from all ages, from young to old, would use the product. And basically have a very good result. So I'm really happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
So, Jim Jackson, now I'm curious, now that you experienced it, what would you say that makes DDP truly different from every toothpaste you've tried before?
Well, it's green. No. it's
Somebody said that too. It's green, right?
it's really a great product. It is very mild. You get a real sense of cleanliness with it, even though it doesn't have the foaming that everybody's used to, which is just a chemical that's added in there. But ever since it's been in there, everybody thinks if it doesn't have that, it doesn't work, and that's not exactly true. This stuff is just absolutely wonderful, and I like that it's more natural than anything else out there.
Yeah. Have you noticed everything in the United States either fizzes or foams?
Uh-huh.
Even your drinks, if it doesn't fizz, people won't drink it. Everything has to fizz and foam. It doesn't do anything. It's a sideshow, so to speak. Actually, the fizzing and foam is chemicals as well too. So
I was reading the PDF that you sent me about your story, and you said something in there that I just really loved, and it was that you could smile without like fear, and I thought that was really special. I definitely have experienced things with pregnancies, and my teeth have had a lot of trouble as well, and I know exactly what it feels like to finally have something that helps you and and makes you feel better, and not just feel better, but like more confident in what you're doing with your body.
Sure, absolutely. You go through life, and as you have these changes that happen, and in my case, in my mouth, and it happened over a very long time. And as you lose more of them, you get the more spaces in between the teeth, and that just causes bigger problems. And eventually, you kind of look like a jack-o'-lantern, right? We're in October, and it's you learn to smile without showing teeth, and I'm learning to smile more, use showing teeth, and it's just giving me the confidence.
Yeah.
Certainly when your mouth hurts, you quit smiling. It's almost like the day is not the same. You could always tell people that have mouth pain by the way they walk into the room. They're kind of like, very rigid. But I think it goes beyond just the pain. I think it also affects you in your daily life. So I think it's really a good thing for somebody to have a stable and healthy oral care in their lifestyle. And I would recommend it to everybody. It's not just brushing 3 times a day; it's brushing, period, and brushing with a good product. So
my first question would be for somebody who's listening right now, feeling the way that you have felt before you started DDP. What would you want them to know?
Don't wait. Don't put it off any longer. The sooner you start it, the better you're going to feel, and the quicker you're going to be happy.
Yeah. That's good advice.
Short, simple, and to the point. Don't wait. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. My question may be a little bit more of a reflective question. Usually when someone has issues with their oral care, It's usually a result of maybe two or three things, but primarily it's maybe not lack of hygiene, but maybe sometimes not using the right product in the right time. Do you think personally that maybe some of the products that you were taking in the past affected how your mouth came out in the end?
Absolutely. And I have a different story for another time about, just like you, one of my dentists early on. And I think that had a lot of things to do with it. A lot of things that he didn't want me to have with fluoride and just a bunch of different things. And I think that kind of also changed things in my early development. And a lot of this is for, it's hereditary. So it's going to happen one way or another, but I'm just trying to slow it down the best that I can. And I can't do it without DDP.
Well, degenerative diseases are one thing. We all age and we all are going to have certain health issues. That's the way I guess God intended us to be. But sometimes there are man-made problems that causes it. I shared with you my experience when I was younger and what happened to me with my dentist. But there are a lot of teachers out there that suggest certain products and certain things. And if you're not careful and not reading those labels, actually some of those chemicals that they put in the products are quite harsh.
Sure.
I don't even know if they're probably the wording of using sandpaper is probably accurate because, it's almost like putting laundry detergent in your mouth. The next question I have for you, Jimmy, as a person now that's feeling better, what do you think is instrumental for people out there to start doing with their DDP? Do you think it's just brushing, or do you think it's also watching what you eat, or is it a combination of many different things?
I think it has just about everything that you do has something to do with oral hygiene. Everything you eat, drink, if you're a smoker or anything like that, that all adds into everything that goes into the body. Most everything we put in the body comes through the mouth, so it's going to start there.
So, in other words, be careful what you put in your mouth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that's great. Wonderful.
So, Jimmy, before we officially close, I just want to say this has such been a powerful and eye-opening conversation. We've shared so much wisdom and authenticity today, and I know our listeners are feeling inspired. So, but before you sign off, I'd love to ask you a few rapid questions that might help our audience to take something deeper away from your story. So, here's the first one. What's one belief or mindset that completely changed your life?
Wow.
That's a good question. One mindset
She's
is
good at
basically believe in yourself. I think that you have to have the self-confidence and the will to change things. If that's not there, you're just fighting yourself on it. You can't do it.
Amazing.
I agree.
And lastly, Jimmy, if you could go back and talk to your younger self, the one who was struggling and in pain, what would you tell him?
I would tell them basically, keep moving forward, look ahead, because there is a solution out there.
It sounds really great. I will give you one bit of advice, and it might help you even improve your oral hygiene. A lot of people are using water picks these days. If you are not using one, I would suggest investing one that you can use while you're showering. And they'll advise you to use water to clean your teeth. I would say take a little bit of the DDP, a little bit of the toothpaste, and shake it up in your water, and you'll get some really great results. It'll get into the crevices and areas where the water pick only can get to, but at the same time, it gets to the bacteria that you can't get to. There's some places you just can't get to with brushing, and a water pick will do that, but you get the extra benefit. And mouthwash can't do what DDP does. Okay, remember, it's kind of a smart bacteria. I leave that with you as an extra tip to help you in your journey for a much brighter smile, so to speak. So,
I had one other question actually, after hearing everything that you have just said. And sometimes when we're starting something new, I find for me that it's difficult to know or pay attention to what has changed and when I start noticing a difference in what I'm trying. And so with the people that are trying DDP, what would you say to them that you initially noticed? Obviously you noticed when your dental hygienist said all the numbers looked good, but when did you as Jim notice?
I I want to say right away, I mean, again, my first thing was it's green, and once you get past that little shock, because you're used to white toothpaste or red toothpaste, you're not used to green, which is great. It's like an olive drab. I love it. So right away, like within a few days, I noticed that my teeth felt cleaner, my gums felt better, if that makes any sense. They didn't have the tingle and the sensitivity that it had, in the beginning. And the more I used it, the better that got. To where now I don't have the bleeding gums anymore. The pockets are small. That the dentist told me once that that we can clean 3 millimeter down, into the side of the teeth. They can clean 5. So anything past a 5 on your numbers, they can't get into those pockets to clean the bacteria, which is probably where the water pick will come in real handy.
Wow.
That's the depth of the issue, right? If you're an 8, it's hard to get to.
Sure.
But you know what? The smart bacteria can get to an 8, and that's what's helped you a lot. Yeah, it's really helped you a lot. Okay, well, Jimmy, we've been doing this now for 30-some minutes. We're almost done. Nika's going to do the ending closing of it. And if I don't get a chance to personally tell you thank you very much from the bottom of all of our hearts, then arigato gozaimashita, and thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts.
Thank you for having me. It's a huge honor.
Yeah, no, it's our pleasure. And I hope to have you back maybe later on in a year from now when you've got, even better results and other things that are going on. It's always nice to have people come back after their first one. It's interesting when you compare the two.
So, Jimmy, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with us. You've shown that when nature's intelligence meets science, healing happens in the most human way. So, for everyone listening, if you've been searching for a gentle, natural way to protect your teeth and gums, try the DDP, the Dental Detox Paste. It changed Jim Jackson's smile, and it might just change yours. So again, I'm Nika Cortez, and this was another inspiring episode of Koso Connections with my amazing co-host, Jessica Harmon, Dr. Z, and our amazing guest, Jim Jackson. So until next time, stay well, stay inspired, and of course, stay connected. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.